Welcome to the Evolveprenuer podcast channel, which is sponsored by Evolveprenuer.biz, a new online community-based platform designed to help develop your skills and knowledge to be massively successful in this new digital age. Your host today is John North, who is a 3-time #1 international best-selling author and strategic marketer. John's passion is to help business owners to master the online marketing world.
Welcome to Evolvepreneur podcast channel. Today I've got Liam Austin, who's a digital marketer specialising in strategic partnerships and the co-founder of Entrepreneurs HQ, an online community of 100,000 plus small business owners. Liam grew his email list by 48,000 subscribers in less than 9 months by cultivating a relationship with his influencers. In fact, Liam came on board because I actually found him off my email list, so he contacted me from there, so it's quite an interesting journey. So thanks, Liam, for coming along, and great to have a chat with you today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, John. I'm excited to be here. Great.
So tell me a little bit about how you got to where you got to, and probably not too long the long story, but sort of a medium short story about how you got to where you got today.
Cool, yeah. So a little bit about the intro there. You can see that I've built up almost 50,000 email subscribers in less than 12 months, and that has really contributed to the success of our business and generating thousands of paying customers in the first 12 months of our business as well. But in terms of where it all started, I started a group on LinkedIn called the Small Business Network back in 2008. And really used it for selfish purposes to reach out. I was growing a startup and growing a business out of Barcelona in Spain, and I needed to reach out to other entrepreneurs, small business owners who were growing their business because I had some issues and problems that I wanted to seek advice for. And so I started that group initially to solve my own problems and have other people to reach out to and ask questions about problems I was having in my business,
right?
As well as obviously help others in the group too. And fast forward to today, and it's the second largest group on LinkedIn for small business wow. or entrepreneurs. Wow. We've got 130,000 small business owners in there, and it's growing by 600 to 700 new business owners and members of the group every week.
Wow. And that's organic now? Was it always organic kind of? Did you get out there and promote it a lot, or was it just organically growing?
Yeah, so it started when LinkedIn first allowed you to create a group on the platform, and so it was one of the first groups on small business or entrepreneurs out there. So it grew organically right from the very start, although I did initially invite some friends, colleagues, advisors, other people that I knew were, running their own business into the group, and said, hey, this is a great place for us to, share each other's problems, help each other out, and solve problems for each other. So
right.
That's how it started. I invited a small group of people, but since then it grew organically, and I kind of growth hacked it a little bit in terms of I just used a bit of SEO tactics by throwing in some keywords that were heavily searched into the title and description, which allowed us to be found in the search results of LinkedIn in those early days, which gave us that early traction to build an audience really, really quickly. And then now, as one of the largest groups, we automatically get pushed to the top of the results when people are searching for small business or entrepreneurs.
So reality too, one thing about that is that it's also going out to Google, right? So anything you put in LinkedIn has all been indexed by Google.
Yeah, LinkedIn is a really powerful platform that is kind of ignored by a lot of marketers, which means it's a huge opportunity. And you're right, it's being ranked really highly by Google. To show an example of that, all you need to do is type in your name into Google and see your LinkedIn profile will probably come up in the first, second or even third results. So it does rank really highly, and so you should be using it to your advantage.
And anything you put in your headline, in your title, your job, and everything all gets indexed as well. So I mean, if you want to do SEO the lazy way, just optimize your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, that's right. And if you're looking for jobs, or if you're a small business owner and you're looking to win more prospects, and there's prospects out there searching for people like you to solve their problems, super simple. Start using some of the keywords that they're using to search to find you in your LinkedIn profile, in your title.
So today, if you had to start all over again and do a new group, what would you do now, like in a fast track? If you said to someone, hey, let's create a LinkedIn group and start getting members in a couple of weeks and grow it, what would you say would be the key steps to get that to happen?
I'd say it might be really difficult now to become one of the top groups on LinkedIn specifically, but you could certainly do it on another platform. Facebook is still growing really, really fast in that respect. Instagram, you can grow a huge amount of following really quickly as well. And even, the younger platforms coming through are still a great opportunity. Like, I used LinkedIn right at the very start when they first announced you to grow groups. So I was in there almost at the foundation phase, which gave me an advantage. Now, if you wanted to start now, I'd say think about giving value. As soon as you keep providing value on a consistent basis, your audience will keep returning, keep coming back, and they'll also start referring people as well. So word of mouth is the strongest way to make sure that you grow, not just in terms of numbers, but in terms of engagement and being able to actually convert these followers or these members into actual paying customers.
I guess in the end of the day too, that kind of rule applies to pretty much any groups you set up in any social media, particularly Facebook. I mean, it's even harder because you've got a lot more different kind of social media going through there. I mean, with LinkedIn, at least you've probably got a business person or someone involved in some sort of business. With Facebook, you've got a lot of, people that aren't necessarily, that might be not just be normally employed. So you've got to really focus on exactly what you're going to deliver.
Yeah, that's right. And the interesting thing about, say, our group, the Small Business Network on LinkedIn, if you go in there, everyone, well, we've done studies and it shows that 81%, I think, are actual small business owners in that group. The others are marketers trying to market to them.
Market to you and still spam your group, right?
Exactly. So if you are going out there and you're looking for new prospects, looking for new clients, that's a great place to start, is to go in there and actually provide value into those existing groups. And if you can transfer them across to another group organically by providing value and not being salesy or pushy, I think that's the best way to gain respect and grow your authority within your domain. Right.
Okay, so then you moved on to something we sort of spoke before about, was the concept of the fact that whilst you had a group in LinkedIn, you leveraged that group and then pulled it out into create a subscribers list. And I guess that's really the key to the thing, is a lot of people don't realise is if they can easily lose that group, it could easily be shut down for any bizarre reason that LinkedIn might come up with.
Yeah.
And then you lost that all your work and everything like that. So you moved them into an email list. How did you move them, get them to subscribe and actually get them to give up their email addresses?
Well, yeah, I think you bring up a valid point there, which I just want to stress a little bit further, that there's so much hype around social media to get followers, to get likes, to get these, social credibility, because you've got X number of followers or likes. They don't matter. Like my LinkedIn group, yes, it's got 130,000 members in there, but I'm restricted with how I can communicate with that group, how often I can communicate, and whether all of my communications actually reaches 100% of the members. They don't. Essentially, social media doesn't allow you. There's algorithms in place that will only show your posts or your messages, your updates, to a certain percentage of your audience, depending on how relevant they see it and how often they've maybe interacted with your content in the past. So. And then the second point on that is that at any point, social media, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, they can change the rules of the game. You're playing on their platform, and they can switch off straight away. So suddenly you might have this huge following, and then one day you log in, your account's gone. And you've seen different social media. You'll log into your account one day, and this has happened I think a few different times over the past couple of years, where suddenly your number of followers or likes will have halved, and that's because the social media has just been cleaning up some of these fake accounts. that are on social media, and you go, well, all these people, were they real? Were they not? Like, what happened? I had this huge following, and it's a bit of a big downer. And so the whole point is that you can't control what's happening on the social media platforms. You don't own it. So what you need to do is actually go out there and own your audience, so that it can't be impacted by the actual owners of these other platforms. So the best way to do that, yes, is to grow your email list. It's one of the number one things you should be doing. If you're growing an audience on social media, or growing an audience at all, I think it's what's transformed my business and allowed us to have that foundation to actually grow our business, was having that LinkedIn group, is to get them straight off that LinkedIn group or off your social media into an email list, so you can have you can communicate them with as frequently, as often as you like, and you're a lot more certain that you're reaching 100% or close to 100% of your subscribers every time.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that way you've got control about when you send it and who reads it, rather than to the list.
Yeah, and you've got all this data to see how many people it was sent to, who opened it, who clicked, who did activity on your website once they reached there, and that whole funnel can be tracked, and you can use that data to make more informed decisions about who was converting, what types of people were converting, what's working really well, and you can start using this data to increase the number of people you can get across into a paying customer from your email list. I think where your first question really initially was, how did I get them across? I started the group back in 2008 on LinkedIn, but I didn't do a lot with it up until about 18 months ago, when if anyone here is on LinkedIn, which I'm sure a lot of you listeners are, you can contact people, you can request to connect with people and send them messages as well. And as the owner of a group of over 100,000 people, I was getting quite a few messages.
Smashed, I would imagine.
Yeah. And about 18 months ago, it'd been probably 12 months of getting a ton of messages and connection requests from this group, and I knew it was coming from this group because some of the messages were specifically saying, "Hey, Liam, I see you as the owner of this group, but it doesn't seem like you're very active in there. It doesn't seem like you're doing much. This is such a huge potential. Can you do something?" And then they'd go on to say, "Look, I would love it if the group was able to do this, if I was able to connect with these people better." So after reading these messages frequently coming into my inbox on LinkedIn, I decided, all right, maybe there's something I should do about it. So I started responding to 1, 2, and then 10, then even more, and just asking, well, what would you want to get out of it? And then I ended up surveying the audience as well, and this is great. So if you can build your audience before you've even got a product or a service or something to sell them, the audience will tell you what they need, and you can create that product for them. So my audience said that they wanted to learn from others in the group. Like, you could see on LinkedIn the different members of the group, and people knew of these people and some of their experience and knowledge, and they wanted to get where they were, or they wanted to get their business, so they wanted to connect and gain from their experience. So from that, we started inviting certain people from within the group to a webinar, and to actually teach at a webinar on certain topics that the audience wanted to learn about. So each week we did a new webinar with a member from the group, and sometimes we invited someone from outside the group to come in and teach the audience a new skill set. And what we found that worked really well was the topic of LinkedIn, how to get more clients and leads from LinkedIn, right? It made sense. So we decided that we would run a conference, an online conference, where we'd invite over 30 LinkedIn marketers, or people who are generating new clients and making sales off LinkedIn, into the conference to teach attendees how they were doing it. So we ran the LinkedIn Success Summit in December 2015, and we had over 15,000 people register to attend that online event, and we had over 500 paying customers for that, because it is a free event with an upgrade package, and we transferred into a business that suddenly was making close to 6 figures from that online event, and
Nice. Yeah.
we've since then gone and ran an online event every 3 months focused around how to generate lead and sales through digital marketing.
Because I noticed that, I guess the concept of that online event is that, number one, is you don't have to create any content because they're coming from all their presenters. And secondly, you can upsell that to say, look, you can watch it in the live or whatever, and then, you can subscribe to a lifetime access to it. Is that kind of thing, is that what you do?
Yeah, that's essentially exactly how it works. It's just like a live in-person conference where you would attend for, say, 5 days. It would run from 9 to 5, and we'd have 8 speakers per day, or 7 to 8 speakers per day. And so if you wanted to attend, yes, it's completely free, but you'd have to take those 5 days off
those
work.
days out, which you're not going to do, right?
Yeah, which is difficult for some people, or they might already have existing appointments in place. But we try to make it as easy as possible. I mean, as I think both of us know, we're both Australian, and probably the audience has figured that out by now too. Yep. So a lot of these big conferences in the US with these exciting, experienced speakers, it's very difficult for us to obviously get there to attend.
It's expensive.
It's expensive. You've got your flights, you've got your ticket to the event, then you've got your hotels, your food while you're there, and then you've got the time off work. So with the online conference, it allows people from all around the world to, as long as they've got an internet connection, to attend and watch these expert speakers that you'd normally have to pay over $500 US to attend and watch in this in-person conference. You can learn from them for free, and that was really the driving force behind why I love this concept so much, and I think why everyone else. We've had 15,000 people at our first event, and ever since then we've done 4 events in total, and each one got over 10,000 people in attendance, and it's because it's attractive to people. People don't have to spend lots of money to attend, but they can still extract value from that. And yes, if you can't attend during those 5 days, you can upgrade to purchase anytime access to all the sessions, as well as we provide MP3 audio files, so you can listen just like a podcast on the go, and a PDF action guide, so a bullet point, step-by-step type instructions from each of the sessions. So it's like a quick win, as opposed to listening to the 40 minute video or audio.
Yeah, if you're more into reading than watching.
Yeah,
personality type.
Yeah, that's right. People consume content differently, so we try to cater to that as much as possible. And then we've got the private community as well. So anyone that's really serious about growing their business, generating more leads and sales through online channels, then we have obviously this package, but the online community is there, and everyone in there has paid and is serious about really growing their business. And so all these other people that just attended for free and maybe weren't as serious aren't included in that group. So what we've found is that's filtered out some of the people who were not so committed, and so we find that community, that Facebook group that we have, is really vibrant and has a really special community feel, and everyone's in there helping each other and feels comfortable asking questions and helping each other out.
So it's like an ongoing thing then. Basically, it's a post. It's almost like you go to an event. If you go to a live event, you network with a few people. You might keep in touch with a few people afterwards. It's kind of like the same kind of thing, really, isn't it? But you've got a bigger audience to deal with, because the reality is, if you were to go to those sort of events, you'd be lucky to probably find 15, 20 people over those few days or whatever, whereas here you've probably got hundreds or thousands of them.
Yeah, that's right. So as I said, I think from that first event we had over 500 people pay to upgrade, and so there was 500 people who wanted to use LinkedIn to generate more leads and sales. And so once you're...
So how much did you charge to them upgrade? I mean, usually it's not... so the industry's around like $100 or something like that. Is that sort of what you charged? Or?
Yeah, it was $97 US to upgrade at the pre event pricing, and so very, very small commitment to get in and get access to all the recordings to watch, at any time, and then also the community on an ongoing basis. Because as you said, like an in-person event, you rush around trying to meet as many people, get as many business cards as you can. It's kind of a scattergun approach. You just don't know who to approach, who the right people are. Whereas once you're inside that group, you can actually, inside that Facebook group that we create, you can actually go and check out the different members, see who they are, what they're all about, and whether they might be able to help you, or you might be able to help them with their business. So it's a lot smarter way of networking and growing your business as well for a pretty small price.
Because you've already done all the filtering, you've already almost pre-qualified that audience. So if that audience is about a particular subject, at least you pretty much know. Well, you're almost a micro networking group at the end of the day that you've got there. Yeah,
and it's super, super valuable. I think the people, obviously turn up and go for the content initially, but then they stick around and stay for the networking, the community, and the value being provided on an ongoing basis for that, because people are going through the videos and all the speaker sessions, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months post the event, and so they're constantly adding value or new ideas into the group about what's worked in their business from what they've learnt from each of the events.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, all right. So that's your main focus now. You're putting out that 3 monthly cycle of like online seminars, I guess is the best way to put it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So just think of going to, I'm sure a lot of people have signed up or know what a webinar is. So like a seminar, but just online, and it's 30 of them all at once. So all on the one topic. So it's very, very focused.
So how did you initially get that? So that your list that you built, so you essentially went off your LinkedIn group, then basically got some email addresses. I was actually looking at the group today, and you've got a post up there where it says get the LinkedIn directory of 300 influencers. So it's a great way of grabbing that email address by getting access to that list. So you're growing the list in your email system, and then you run the summit and you get them to subscribe to that, and you send out an email saying, hey, we've got this summit, and then they're resubscribing, obviously, then they're paying. So essentially you're taking it from one step to another, right?
Yeah, so I could be a bit more specific with what I've maybe said in the past. So we've got the LinkedIn group. We then promote the event, saying we've got these, say it's the LinkedIn Success Summit coming up. We've got some free tickets. All you need to do is enter your name and email address. Because it's an online event, we'll notify you by email for each of the speakers in each of the sessions and where you can attend. So that's how we're collecting and growing our email list. So we're offering a ton of value for free, and all we're asking in return is for the person's email address. Yes, once we've got their email address, we then supply them with access to all the sessions for free, but we also let them know, hey, if this is too much, if you're away and you don't have time to attend, or you're going to miss some sessions, then don't worry about it. We're going to record them all, and you can upgrade and purchase all of the recordings for $97 or whatever it might cost, and you can watch it in your own time at your own pace. So that's how we're then collecting the email addresses. But the other one you've mentioned there, which is the directory of LinkedIn influencers, we've put that behind a email list subscription as well. So we call that a lead magnet, where the whole idea is, yes, we want to grow our email list. What can we offer as a lead magnet to get that lead? What's that magnet? And in this case, the magnet is the directory of 300 influencers. Which people can get access to if they leave their email address. And so if they leave their email address, we're able to then email them a link to the directory, and they can get access to that. So that's two of the methods that we're using to build our email list, but great ways to do it are obviously giving free value through webinars, through online conferences, summits, events, giving away these lead magnets. So it might be a PDF, some kind of guide, a checklist, a directory, like we've done as well. Basically, you're trying to give away value and give away as much value as possible to increase the amount of people who convert into an email subscriber. So the best lead magnets are the ones that convert the most email subscribers at the highest conversion rate. So this is why you should also be tracking all of these different things. So I might go into a bit more detail here, but stop me if I'm going too deep. So in order to track all of this and set all of this up, the most simple way to I'll tell you how we do it, and then I'll maybe go through a more simpler way. We create the lead magnet, so it's a PDF, and it can be as simple as just a checklist, which is, here's the top 10 tools I use to achieve X in my business, or that saves me X amount of time or money, whatever it is. And it's a list of tools, and it's just a link to each of those tools for people, and this is something that people go gaga for, by the way, is just your list of tools. So create that PDF. It can be a one-page PDF, doesn't have to look pretty or anything like that. It can be really, really simple, as long as it provides a load of value. That's what people are coming for, and it delivers on the value that you're promoting when you're promoting the lead magnet. So you could then go into, say, a LinkedIn group or a Facebook group, or you promote it across social media to your followers or other people's followers, and say, hey, just wanted to let everyone know that I've been working on something and I wanted to provide this value to all of you. So give value. Don't just always ask to say, oh, here's my lead magnet. Give value, and then say, to make it easier for everyone, I've created this PDF document. It's only one page. If you want access to it, here's the link. So that's potentially how you could promote it and position it on social media. Then to track it, obviously you've got your link. You want to just go to bit.ly.com, which is a URL shortener as well as a tracking link provider, and you just paste in your original link to the opt-in form, and it'll give you a shortened bit.ly link, which will allow you to track the number of times it's been clicked and where those clicks are coming from in the world, as well as some other interesting data. So,
because it's important to know, like a lot of people, you set that up and then you forget to track it, so you don't know whether it's successful or not.
Yeah, exactly. You might be going out there and spraying across 10, 20, 30 different groups, and maybe 70-80% of them are driving zero traffic, and you want to know that, because you don't want to keep going and using those same channels, marketing channels, because they're not getting you any results. So it's a waste of your time, and you're probably doing a disservice to the audience, because it's not relevant to them. Hence why, hence why they're not clicking, right? So make sure that you are tracking it, and you're identifying which locations and channels are working best for you, so you can leverage that and increase your usage of that channel.
So I guess in the scenario where you're doing like the lead magnet for LinkedIn, obviously you're offering a LinkedIn group, so it's pretty obvious that people would want it. But by doing in different types of lead magnets, you're also then classifying or pre-categorizing your database as they're coming in, because you know what they're interested in. So if you're going to run a summit on it and you're getting good response, then obviously then that's something to start with, right?
Yeah, that's a good way to test whether people are interested in what you're thinking or testing of selling them. So you can go, all right, well, here's some information on, say, the topic of LinkedIn. Let's post it out. Let's see how many people are interested in this. Is it getting a great high conversion rate through people? Maybe it is. So great. That's a good indicator that this could be a potential product that people are willing to pay for. Let's now test that. Let's create a pre-sales page where we pre-sell the actual product before we even create it. And we set milestones for ourselves where, okay, I need to sell at least 100 of this product or this service before I actually create it, because only until I've sold 100 does it make it worthwhile for me. And if you don't get 100, you can easily just refund every single one of those people who purchased back with an apology. So it's definitely a great way to be able to test your market demand for a product or service you may be thinking about.
Because the old theory of if you build it, they will come doesn't kind of work on the internet.
No, I mean, there's maybe it probably did, maybe right at the very beginning of the internet, but the amount of websites and services and products being sold out there now, you really need to differentiate yourself and stand out. Otherwise, you're just going to get lost in the crowd. So providing value, and I think I've probably said that word value quite a few times already on this interview, but that's what it all boils down to. If you can provide value on a consistent basis, you're going to win. And one thing where you should be, or one place where you should be providing value every single time and not doing too much testing is with your email list. So that list of email subscribers. As soon as you don't provide value, there is that unsubscribe button, that opt-out button right at the bottom of every single one of your emails, and it's so easy for people to just click on that. It's just one click away and then they're off your list. That person you worked so hard to build the lead magnets, do all the tracking, optimize your marketing efforts.
And he's gone forever now.
They're gone.
Somehow you've upset him, so that's it. He's never going to subscribe to you ever again, right?
That's it. And that's what was interesting, I think, about because I pay attention to email marketing very heavily, because we did one of our summits on email marketing, actually, the Email Success Summit. So we had 41 email marketing experts come and share their secrets with our audience. But I really loved what you were doing as well with the way you wrote your emails and provided value in them, because there's a lot of people that aren't doing this, and so if you are doing it well, you can really stand out from your competitors.
Yeah, I think you've got to think about the person that you're writing to, and what they're interested in rather than what you're interested in. And I think that's part of the problem. A lot of people try and sell too early, or just keep talking about themselves all the time, and you'll end up in a situation where people get quite bored with that if they're not interested in you. So I think the secret to email marketing certainly is putting yourself in the foot of, thinking about who you're writing an email to and what they might be interested in, and really focusing on them rather than you, really.
Yeah, that's right. And I think that's where, surveying has really worked well for my audience. We just finished surveying our audience using the Ask method, which is Ryan.
I actually got his book sitting here. I actually bought it online a couple of days ago, about 2 weeks ago, because we're in Australia. Everything takes time to get here. But I actually got his art. What I call hacking is what I do is pretty much what I did do with your funnel there. Is if you like the look of something, feel free to email, and even if you're not necessarily going to be buying anything, but put your email address in and hack their funnel. Figure out what they're doing. See what emails they send you, what pages they send you to see whether you like the look of it, because it may be successful, and you can just basically use that to clone your own ideas.
Absolutely. I think the way that the world evolves and gets better is by learning from other people, and that's the premise of my business, is by running these events. We bring in the best experts around certain topics, and the topics we've covered so far are LinkedIn, email marketing, Instagram marketing, and video marketing. And our next one is on productivity. So how to make 2017 your best and most successful year ever. And we're bringing together these experts because they're obviously doing something right and well, something that's working for them. And I asked them, well, what is the number one thing that works really well in your business to generate more leads, more sales, actually converts more revenue into your business? Share it with our audience and walk us through the step-by-step of exactly how you do this process or this tactic, so other people can replicate that and implement it into their own business, because there is so much we can learn from people who are doing things successfully, and you don't need to copy it outright. It's a matter of putting your own twist on it, and just if you're being authentic, you're being real, you're being yourself, automatically you can take that idea and just put it into your own words, and it will come out as your own.
Yeah, and I think so. And I mean, at the end of the day, there's only so many ways you can do this anyway. And a lot of these guys that you might go into their funnel for, you might see them using some new technique that's only just started being used. So you've got an opportunity to go, oh, that sounds a good idea. I'll put my photo here, or I'll put this video here, or say these words here. You're really looking, when you're doing that hacking, you're really looking at what might be successful. and something that maybe nobody else is doing. So you can get to the edge of the curve and start actually doing something new.
Yeah, I think that's the point, right? Like, so if something's already working really well and you know someone that's successfully doing it, just replicate what they're doing, and once it starts working for you, you can then tweak it, start making changes, putting your own, nuances and new things in there to make it a little bit different, to test to see whether what you're doing will actually convert higher, build a more deeper relationship with your audience or whatever your goal is. But start by using other experts' tactics and tools and strategies, make it your own, pull it into your own business, because that's a great place as a foundation if you're just starting out. And then once it is successful for you, that's when you can really start ramping things up and testing things for yourself.
Trying to figure out why it's working and then go from there. Because, I mean, sometimes you see some really good funnels and you try it and you realise that actually it's probably not working for them either. It's just like they might be spending a fortune on Facebook ads and actually not getting any results. And you think, I've just copied this funnel and it's going to try it. And you spend a big stack of money and realise it was actually not working for them. So I think the caveat here is that just because it looks good and doesn't mean it's working doesn't mean it is. So you really need to test it yourself first, and don't spend a lot of money on it. And to suddenly you think, I'm going to spend $2,000 on advertising, and realise that funnel never worked in the first place.
Yeah, that's right, and that's why it's important as well to learn from several different people as well. Don't just necessarily focus in on the one person. If you can see that several people are doing the same tactic or strategy, and you can see that it is actually creating new email subscribers, or it's getting the results that it's being set out to achieve, then you can confidently think or guess, if you like, that it is working. But the only way you can really know if it's going to work for you, your audience, your business is to test it yourself. So the quicker and easier you can kind of set something up to test, to see that it's working for yourself, then you can start again, changing it, improving it, making it your own. But yeah, you want to make sure that it's working before you spend too much time on it. Okay,
so now the question I'd like to ask a few guests is, what are the 3 to 5, and because in this cloud days you need more than that. Somebody said 3, and I said, well, you can have 5 if you like, of the mains or solutions you use that you couldn't live without.
All right, so WordPress is a definite, I think. Just in terms of having a presence online. Then an email provider. So what I mean by that is someone like Infusionsoft, Drip, ActiveCampaign, which allows you to actually collect email addresses, send emails to people, and segment your audience to make sure that when you are sending out content or emails, that you're sending it out to only the segments that it's relevant for. So this is where it comes back to providing value every time. So having an email provider that allows you to segment your audience can really make you build a stronger and deeper, more relevant relationship with your audience. And why you want to do that is because you really want to bring them along the funnel and convert them.
And I think don't skimp on your autoresponder. Do your research, find the best one, and then it's prepared to pay some money for it, because a lot of people try to do it on the cheap, and I think that's the worst thing you can do is try and skimp on your autoresponder. We promote a product called Agile CRM because it's more than an autoresponder, but the idea, and you can start for like $8 a month or something like that. But the reality is that don't go for a free one and then try and cut the corners there. Try to do something you can use effectively, which is what I find a lot of people do. They've got an email responder and it doesn't do much, and they go, well, I'm not really using it. Well, then you either waste your money or go out there and learn it.
Wow, yeah. So with our email marketing summit that we did, one of the speakers phrased this really well, Greg Hickman. He said that you should be looking at your email provider, your autoresponder, as an actual staff member, an employee. So if you're thinking in terms of wages, how much would you pay a staff or a member of your team as a full-time employee? And then think about, okay, think about it in that respect, and then go out there and look for an autoresponder that provides the solution to that you require in your business, because it really is that powerful. I think I can't emphasize how important it is to look after your email list, to build your email list, and make sure that every time you're sending out an email that it is relevant and that you're providing value every single time. It has had a massive impact on most digital online marketers in the world today. It's one of their most valued assets in any digital marketer's business, is their email list. So you need to look after it. You need to be spending the money on it. Think of it as another staff member, because really it is that powerful, and it is, exactly. Sometimes even more powerful than an individual.
I guess
staff
the rule
member.
of thumb is that most of the time an email you can send to is worth about $1 a month to you, so it's worth looking after.
Yeah, that's right. If you can convert it into dollar values, and I can tell you that when you are sending emails out and you do have a product or service to sell, if you're being relevant and providing value, it'll pay for itself multiple times over. So you won't even need to worry about the actual price or dollar figure you're paying.
All right, so that's 2 apps. What's the next? You got a couple more?
Wow, can I just focus on the email? Can I just make it that my 5?
You can make it if you want. It sounds like it's working for you, right?
Well, yeah, there are at the email summit that we ran. There were speakers there, experts, that their whole business is email. So that's all they do. They sell via email. Their whole business is writing an email a day, and they do have a website, but literally their whole business is email. So that's how powerful it can be, and that's kind of like one tool that they use. And these guys are making 6 figures, if not 7 figures a year.
They're not really overthinking it, right? They're not building a complex back end. They're actually just running a front end and grabbing an email address and doing the basics of what you do.
Do one thing, do it well. Yeah,
so,
and this is one of the most powerful ones. If you wanted to focus on doing one thing well, it would be email.
So one of the things that people sort of don't talk about in the email industry when they get themselves into trouble later on is that sending email, like if you've got that many subscribers coming through the system, if you're trying to send your emails off a Gmail email address or something, you're going to be in big trouble, right? You really need to have set that proper infrastructure up to handle the volume of emails.
Yeah, if you want to be seen as a legitimate business, I think that the credibility, trustworthiness, building that value and relationship with your audience. If you're sending something from Gmail, I mean, think of it yourself. Whenever you get an unsolicited maybe email from a Gmail account from someone you don't know,
your estimation of them drops.
Guard is up. Yeah, your guards are up. You've got this wall up. You're thinking, oh, what's going on? Is this a legit person or business? And most of the time, your email is going to be ignored if you're doing this. So if you've got a legitimate domain, so by domain I mean whether it's entrepreneurshq.com or something else, and you're sending out an email, liam@entrepreneurshq.com, and people are receiving that. They know that you're a legitimate business. You've got a domain. Well, sorry, they don't know you're a legitimate business.
Yeah, but they suspect
you
do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You've got that credibility, that trustworthiness straight away there. And then just that can have a huge impact on whether people will respond to your email, take you seriously, will increase your click-through rates, all that kind of thing. But then on top of that, there's all these other things that you don't think about, which is whether you're going to be caught in the spam filters within people's inboxes as well.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's an area where people get caught out and down the track is that they don't build for that future. I mean, I basically decided fairly early on to use an add-on product called SendGrid so that I could actually get a reputation, because at the end of the day, one of the things with email is all about reputation. So if you've got a reputation of sending a lot of spammy emails, then that reputation is going to continue to follow you around no matter where you go. And so it's good to sort of do that research and make sure that your emails are going to get delivered and read, and with the expectation that you're going to grow.
Yeah, that SendGrid's a great software technology. We use that for our automated triggered emails. for when people, log into our membership or sign up for something. And there are a lot of tricks you can use to make sure that your emails are being delivered and you're not being filtered as spam. And I learned a lot of this from the experts that came to the Email Marketing Summit, but I can quickly go through
free consulting advice.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Like I try to follow my own advice, learn from the experts. So, in terms of if you do suspect that your emails are being filtered into the spam box, what you can do is you can just start looking at your autoresponder, your email provider, and go, okay, who are the people that are actually opening my emails, clicking on my emails? Who are the most active people? And start doubling down on the amount of emails you're sending these people. And don't send as often to the people who aren't opening your emails, because those people who aren't opening your emails, that's what the Gmails, the Yahoos, the Hotmails are looking at, going, all these people are receiving this email, but they're not even opening this person's email, and they haven't opened that person's email in 6 months. What's going on here? Let's just move that across to the spam folder, right? That could be one indicator that they're looking at. If you then suddenly start sending to the most active people that are replying to your emails, that are clicking on your emails, that are opening your emails as soon as they see them come into your inbox, Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo are seeing that, they're tracking that, and they're saying, this is an important email. Let's make sure that it is going to the primary inbox every single time for people, because we can see that they're interacting with it, they're replying. And a good example of that is, an email from your mum, right? An email from your mum is always going to get a response from you, hopefully, or most likely.
Unless you're in big trouble.
And so, all the email providers know that, and an email from your mum will never be in the spam folder. Why? Because they've tracked that this email is from someone that you always this email from this email address is something that you always open, you always reply to, you always click on the links that are in there. It's highly relevant to you. It's always going to be placed in the inbox. So in saying that, there are some things that you can play around with your email responders and your sequences and campaigns that you're setting up that will encourage people to interact with your emails. So ask people...
So they'll reply back, basically, ask them a question.
Ask them to reply. Ask them to click on certain things, especially in the first 2 to 3 emails, which are really, really important in the scheme of Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, to see exactly how important this new email that's coming into your inbox is. So get them to reply frequently and often as possible, and also, clicking and interacting, just engaging with your emails can really bring you out of that, spam filter or box and into people's primary inbox.
Because you got a good point there. Because one of my first very early emails is that when we send it off, we say, "Look, it's a real person. If you let me know, reply back." And often I'll get people reply back to me and say, "Yeah, I got it," and then I'll reply back to them and say, "Oh, thanks, that's good to know." And what's happened then is you've built that reputation from that person.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, right? Just ask people to reply. It's a conversation. It's email. It's it
Exactly.
shouldn't be a one-way device.
Email was never designed to be that. An email was designed as a multiple. Well, you look at now when you look at Microsoft and a few other applications, they term their email list. They don't call it an email. They call it a conversation. If you have a look at the mobile app for Apple, the app calls it a conversation. Doesn't call it an email.
Well, there you go. That's probably a really strong indicator that if your emails aren't creating a conversation, you're not going to be landing in that folder. Yeah,
the flyer that you send out. The flyer you stick on someone's windscreen in the car park. That's probably about as best you are at that point, because they're just taking it off the windscreen and putting it in.
That's it. And the interesting thing about this is that we're talking about this, that you need to be getting people to reply to your emails. You need to be getting people to click on them. But most businesses who are sending out email broadcasts aren't doing this. This is a great kind of opportunity, because it means that you can really stand out. If you can just get some of your audience to start replying to, whether it's that first email, as you mentioned, John, or, the first one and the 10th one and the 20th or whatever it is in your sequence, get them to respond. You're going to be above just one of these newsletters that Google, the Gmails, the Hotmails, the Yahoos are seeing as just a broadcast newsletter that should be put into updates folder, the newsletters folder, or the spam folder.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's great. All right, we're coming up to the hour, so I better have to pull up now, otherwise the podcast will be too long. So tell me how people can get in touch with you. What's the best method? Is there a web, and obviously can they look you up on LinkedIn? And
so happy for people to come and check out one of the summits that we do. The next one coming up is on productivity and how to make 2017 your best year ever. We've got people, productivity experts, goal setting experts coming to help you plan out 2017, and again it's always focused on how to generate more leads and sales online for your business. So productivitysuccesssummit.com, you can grab your free ticket there. Entrepreneurs HQ, that's where we put all of our summits, all of our content, all of our interviews and courses in that membership there. If you do have questions about this, email me, liam@entrepreneurshq.com. And then, of course, if you want to join our LinkedIn group, Small Business Network, on LinkedIn, you can just search on LinkedIn for Small Business Entrepreneurs, and we should be one of the first one or two results there. And it's a great opportunity for you to jump in there and provide value and network with other small business owners who may be prospects for your business, or might be able to help you solve problems in your business as well.
That's great. No worries. Well, thanks for that, and thanks for coming along. Maybe we'll have you on again. Maybe we'll just talk about one subject next time.
Awesome. All right. Cheers, John. Appreciate having you on.
Thanks.
It's been fun.
Thanks, Liam.
You've just been listening to another great Evolvepreneur podcast interview. We hope you enjoyed it. Please visit evolvepreneur.biz today to find out more about our online community and how you can take part.